Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. You've got a story to share, a message to inspire, and a passion ready to ignite. But where do you start? The world is waiting for your voice. With From Idea to Implementation, Start Your Own Podcast, you'll get the roadmap to turn your vision into reality. This isn't just a course, it's your launching pad. Step by step, we'll break down the process from defining your purpose to recording your first episode so you can finally share your voice with confidence. Stop overthinking it and start doing it. Your voice has the power to connect and lead. Are you ready to use it? Join the waitlist today. Your podcast journey starts now. The world is waiting. You can find the link to sign up for the waitlist in the show notes. We'll see you soon. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help empower and elevate the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Andrea Blythe. She is a storyteller, a spiritual teacher, a mindset coach, an infinite possibilities and matrix trainer, a certified order of the Magi card reader, the founder and creator of Let Love Rise, and last but certainly not least, a mom. Welcome, Andrea. How are you?
Goodness, fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast this morning. I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
I am honored and so excited to jump right in and to have you here as a guest. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Man, that is a hell of a lot of hats you wear. How on earth do you find the time for all that you do? And how do you prioritize, and how important is prioritization and organization for you?
Oh my goodness. I would just say first and foremost, I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I'm used to juggling multiple schedules, multiple demands, shall we say. And when I look at like who I am as an entrepreneur and as in that realm of my life, I took a leap of faith on myself in 2023 by starting my own business, leaving my career as a high school French teacher to enter into this world of being a spiritual teacher. And I think that the structure that I had as in high schools, there is so much structure. I carry that forward with me into my work. And so my day is my day. I, just like everybody else, I come to work. It just happens to be down the hall and sometimes in my pajamas. And then my teenagers are growing and driving on their own. Life is shifting and changing, and I just flow with it, but always make the time to pour into myself first and then see what the demands of work hold for the day.
Yeah, which of course is most important, is pouring into yourself first, because if we don't pour into ourselves first, we're of no use or of service to anyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm very curious then, with you wearing so many hats, what does your morning routine look like? Do you have a morning routine?
I do. And if I look at how it's shifted over the years, I actually wrote a blog post on this once upon a time on Let Love Rise. Let Love Rise began as a way for me to therapeutically express some of the pain that I was carrying as my life shifted. And on the morning routine, I think that is something that is so integral to starting the day by, again, pouring into yourself. So for me personally, I always start with a cup of coffee and take it back into my room where I write. I have been a student of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way for the last several years. And ever since I started the practice of the morning pages, getting up and first thing, just writing my thoughts, kind of it's like a check-in time with myself. I haven't stopped in 3 years. So that is the first thing I do. And it's just a time that I love because it's a slow wake up. I don't respond to texts or emails. I don't get on social media or anything like that until after I've had at least a half an hour of time to snuggle with this guy, Jasper, and write. And just, it helps me focus my thoughts and also just be aware of what I'm carrying with me into the very beginning of the day and what I might need to be giving some attention to. But writing is the first thing. And then on a really great day from writing, I'd go to a yoga practice and then a walk with Jasper before I sat down behind the computer around 10 o'clock. So
Beautiful.
It's a slow start to my day.
That's okay. That's a good thing. It's around what makes you feel good.
Exactly. And that's something that I started noticing as I was in the last years of teaching high school. I was really feeling burnt out emotionally because of how everything drastically changed after COVID in terms of being in the physical high school classroom.
Yeah.
But the early rise and being at the classroom, I started noticing that it just energetically was more draining for me than it was. I wasn't finding that same enthusiasm when I woke up and drive because it was an early morning wake up to do yoga and writing and all the things that I wanted to do before being in the classroom at 8 a.m. was, So I
that's
made
a hell of a shift for sure.
A huge shift. I mean, everything. I mean, my life 5 years ago compared to where it is today is night and day. And and that's part of the flow. That's part of the flow. So,
well, change is necessary for growth. So it's all part of the process.
Yeah.
So what drives, motivates, and inspires you to keep going and excelling at all that you do, Andrea?
100%. There's this true burning desire in me. I want to say the word prove, that I'm proving to myself what I teach, that we are the powerful co-creators of our lives. We have infinitely more power through our minds, our thoughts, how we take action steps, how we clarify our dreams, and then take action steps towards it. That is what I teach. And so what drives me is also in a way to show that it truly does work. And this is for myself. When I decided to leave my high school teaching career, it's because I felt limited in terms of my capacity to earn an income. Like I knew what I would be earning from henceforth into retirement.
Yeah.
And I saw that cap. And after the divorce that I went through and needing to be financially independent and still have these teenagers to raise, I quickly realized that it was not enough for what I desired for myself, that financial freedom and that real, that desire. So I'm making this shift and proving to myself first and foremost that it really is possible to be very intentional about the dream that you want to have, the life you want to live, and then to go after it. And then, of course, I have these 3 beautiful children that I want to show them as well that there are multiple ways that we can live our life. And I thought I was on one track, and I was for a very long time. I was on one track that I thought this is what you do. And everything derailed. And now I'm like, okay, everything shifted. What else is possible? And
that's the beauty of life, right? We can change the trajectory of our paths. We can change the direction of our paths. It's all up to us. We have it within us to do it. And we're the only ones that can do it. No one can do it for us, but it's having the self-awareness to realize that we don't have to follow the conditioning and the bullshit that we've been conditioned to believe all our lives. We have the ability to change it and create whatever it is we want to create for ourselves. And that's powerful.
It is. Yes. And so that's my drive. It comes from deep, deep within. And I mean, I did put myself up. Like I say, it's a leap of faith because I am taking risks in investing in myself and saying, no, this really matters for me. I really fully believe in what I'm teaching, how I am helping people to be the conscious creators of their life. And it matters. So
it does.
That inspires me every day. Plus the 10 a.m. start time that I have created for myself also.
There you go. See, one of the benefits.
Better for me energetically.
For sure.
And that matters.
Yes, absolutely. Of course it does. It matters to our overall well-being.
Yeah.
Can you speak to what the catalyst was for that shift for you out of being a school teacher into entrepreneurship? Was there a particular thing, a particular moment?
I feel like there were a series of events. Obviously, the state of education changed entirely in 2020 when we taught remotely. And then there was this hybrid teaching. And so there's a accumulation of also students being a parent of teenagers during this time while also teaching teenagers as my profession. That was a lot of teen energy, but I experienced it at home that my own teens had a hard time re-engaging again with the education system as it was, creating connection again and teaching behind masks and not being able to see people's faces. Like I lost a lot of the humanity of what I loved to do in the classroom, shifted and changed. But be deeper than that, I think so many of us, and I was definitely in the thick of it, was my life was totally transformed completely between 2019 and 2022. Just everything fell apart. Everything, including a huge part of my passion was being that high school teacher, to show up for these students and to have that removed. Every year I would go back into the classroom and be like, this is the year that the magic comes again. This is the year I get excited about teaching. I used to teach French. I'm excited about teaching French. And that excitement never came back, because in the middle of the pandemic, the exact same weekend that the world shut down was the exact same weekend that I needed to sign divorce papers, that my husband had filed for divorce. And so everything was stripped away. And in that cocoon of darkness, and I really had to turn to the spiritual path for me. And I talk about the 4 pillars of the moon, just watching the moon in phases, having the time to do that in 2020, but really thinking into the rhythm of the moon. And I have on my computer this sticker where it has the moon phases, and it just says it's just a phase. But the moon was the first, and then music, healing power of music, learning about mindset. And then the Magi cards were brought into my world. And I think that it was so powerfully speaking to me. And I always wanted to teach. I mean, I think I'm a natural born teacher. So I've always wanted to share what is firing me up. And I came to realize that it just wasn't the French language anymore. It didn't seem to have that same passion for me. And instead, I really wanted to help other people who were possibly going through the pains that I went through in dismantling, uncoupling, and navigating life within 2 households, and doing all of this while we're incredibly isolated. It just, it opened up something new inside of me. And I knew it wasn't going away. And so I just chose to respond.
That's a lot of shift and change to happen all at once, and massive change. So that was also the catalyst for your spiritual journey. That's what started you on your spiritual journey.
Yes. I want to say in some ways it returned me back to it.
Right.
Like within the confines of my marriage, it was a 20-year marriage. I was an active practicing Christian, a very mission-based. I wanted to know the teachings of ascended Master Jesus and just really understand it from inside, because I was free range spirituality. I was not brought up within organized religion. And so I always had this quest and this curiosity. And what happened during the pandemic, right, when everything shut down, you couldn't go to church, you couldn't go into these spiritual places. And I was surprised myself how quickly just the need for that gathering on Sundays went away. And I just reconnected by looking up into the stars and the sky. And I just, like, something in me was reawakened.
Yeah. I think that was that whole process of going through those 3 years of COVID caused a lot of people to do a lot of reflection, soul searching, all of these things. And it was a great awakening, because people realized, in addition to what you were just talking about, that things don't have to be done the way we've been told and conditioned to believe they do. Everything can change, and we have the power to change it. But also, people were craving that connection. They were missing it.
Yeah.
And that was a huge piece, because we were so isolated.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Real tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go back into that period, and I can images flash in my mind, and then you have that feeling again of, wow, we did that. We did that collectively. And now it begs the question, what are you going to do about it? What was woken up, and when something in me, like, it just was too strong to not be curious about. Yeah. Too strong to ignore.
Yeah. And so what were a couple of the biggest internal struggles for you during your spiritual journey, and how did you overcome them?
I mean, I think the biggest one, and it's still unfolding, is shifting from the mindset of scarcity and stepping into an abundance mindset that I and everybody walking this planet is connected to the ever expanding, loving, divine spark of intelligence in the universe. And what prevents us from tapping into all the goodness is mind and the thoughts that we tell ourselves. And so I think that was part of it. Was I needed to step away from a profession that told me that no matter how hard I worked and how amazing of a teacher and an educator I was worth, it would never be worth more than $65,000.
You were capped. You had a ceiling.
I was, there was a ceiling. And that was like, just even being aware that's something that all teachers, we feel that. And I had to think about, how am I actually, as a single woman, now going to care for and support my children on the other side? And so I remember it was February 22nd of 2022. So 2022. I had this it was one of those middle of the night moments where I recognized that I had been putting outside of myself my abundance, that I needed somebody else I either wanted to renegotiate child support, or I wanted to it was mostly in regards to my ex, that I felt like I had, deserved more. And something on that 222, I was done. I was so done. I was like, no, I cannot continue to think this way. It's not helping me. It's making me angry at him. And then it's bringing us back into the courts, and just wanting to be like, you know what? I don't need you.
It's not serving you or anyone around you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a huge self-awareness moment.
Yes. And it's one of my favorite stories on Let Love Rise. It's just called 222. And it was a couple of years at that point of noticing all of the signs and tuning into, how does the universe speak to us? And for me, I know it does speak in all kinds of ways. But the next morning, I received an email at 2:22 a.m. that was a note from the universe, and it was something about finances, and it was like confirmation, like just keep going. Like
you can't make this shit up. You just cannot.
You really can't. You really can't. And I love what Einstein says, right? Like you can look at the world as if everything is a miracle or nothing's a miracle. I think it's the other way around. Nothing's a miracle or everything's a miracle. And when I saw that 222 and that message, it was just like on 222. And 222 or 22 is the number of the law of attraction. So it was just like time. It's time, girl. Like we're done.
But also having the self-awareness to realize and to recognize the signs too is a huge piece, right? Because not everyone is that self-aware or awakened, whatever words you want to use to describe it. You always have to be looking for the signs, because they're always there, no matter what. They're always there.
And that is a gift of the isolation, is that we had such a slowdown.
Yeah.
And this slowdown occurred during a time when I didn't want it. Like for sure. I would rather have been busy with the noise and distractions that would have made it easier in some ways. And yet it was in the slowdown. It was like, okay, I'm taking a walk through the neighborhood today, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to smell the roses. I'm going to look for the beauty. I'm going to look for the good. I'm going to see where I'm being directed and trust that this is all happening for me, not to me.
Again, that's another piece of the self-awareness, being able to look at a situation, using COVID as an example. And yes, of course, there was tons of loss, financial, personal, life lost, absolutely. And it was a tragedy.
Yeah.
But being able to look at the situation and realize that, you know what, this is a gift. We've been given the gift of time.
Yes.
And utilize it, use it to do what you want to do, what's on your heart, and being able to pull the silver lining out of it and look at it that way, I think takes a very strong sense of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And self-control, just reflection and all of the things, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's huge because you could sit there all day and bitch and complain about the negative side of it, how shitty it is. But that's not going to serve anyone. No. Least of all, it's not going to serve you.
No. Right.
So why put your energy there? It's not worth it. It's certainly not worth it.
Exactly.
There was a lot of lessons learned through that 3 years for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
How has your journey as a spiritual teacher transformed your own life and your personal beliefs?
Oh, man. I think that when we teach anything that we teach another person, not only does it help our level of understanding it, like just being able to wrap words around it and deliver a message in a meaningful, impactful way for another person, there's something magical in that. And again, whether it be French and teaching this beautiful language to young, desiring travelers and international business folks, or teaching about the wisdom of how our thoughts are not who we are, and yet our thoughts control most people's existence on day to day. I refer to people as myself included. I am often the pinball in the pinball machine, just getting knocked around.
Yeah.
And while we're moving through life, like the incessant chatter in our mind it's incessant. It just doesn't stop. But having the awareness that we're the one who hears our thoughts. So we are not our thoughts, and we can manipulate our thoughts. Manipulate is kind of a loaded negative word, but more like we have the power to change the way, just changing one word or two words drastically changes everything. And so when I teach something, it reaffirms for me, it sets something that I know. And also I just love to see the spark carry to another person's eyes and for them to be like, oh, wait, okay.
That aha moment.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. How do you differentiate between spiritual growth and personal development, and where do they overlap and where do they diverge, in your opinion?
I mean, for me, it's very enmeshed personally, spiritual growth and personal development, because I think that my choice, I feel like I evolve as a person. I personally grow the more in tune I am with my spiritual side, because I think it's the more connected I feel to a divine presence of love, the more I can step out of my physical, materialistic body, and certainly those thoughts that are like, you're weak enough, or this isn't enough, you need all the material things that we're wired to continually have new desires, to want new things, to reach for new goals, to summit another mountain. So there's part of that is on that personal growth, but when it's tied into spiritual growth, I think that's when personally I feel like I'm making the most the most evolution. My soul is evolving in a way. For me, they're so connected that it's hard for me to separate them out at this point. Okay. Except for maybe to say just that the spiritual practices are what fuels my personal growth.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're very intertwined for sure.
Yeah.
Now, in your view, what does it truly mean to be spiritual in today's world?
That is such a great question. Right, because it's so some people can say a spiritual teacher. What does that mean? So what does it mean to be spiritual? I think it means to be connected to something greater than oneself. And there are all kinds of ways for people to be connected. There are plenty of people who are very spiritual within an organized religion, and that is what helps them to be spiritual and religious at the same time. But for me, at its essence, I kind of go back to my childhood, where I always felt like I was a spiritual being. I always felt connected to the moon and to the stars above. And I think just now I have more language around it and really understand that the way that the planets talk with one another, they're communicating to us at the same time based on the snapshot of the energies that we chose to be born into. And then also the spiritual understandings of mystical things that like just don't make sense. Going back to that quote from Einstein, it's just, it's what makes sense to me. I'd rather see everything as a miracle in my life because I know how that makes me feel. And it's not the same for everybody. And that's okay. Everybody's connection to spirit and what that means to them is slightly different. But for me, it's just that root connection, that sacral connection of I'm so much more than this earthly body.
I had someone call it a meat suit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, essentially.
That's exactly what it is.
How
do you help your clients navigate the fear that often arises when they are stepping into a deeper spiritual work?
I mean, I teach a weekly class every Wednesday. I have a Joyful Soul Circle. And in that, it's all about helping my clients to consciously create the life of their dreams. So we all have the same fear. We all want to be seen, heard, safe. Essentially, like that's, and when we're not, like that's where fear arises. Am I enough? Like all those same fears that we have. But the dreams are uniquely ours. And what I've come to know is that when we are consciously stepping into making a dream a reality, fears, let me come with you. I am going to be your guide. And so it's not the absence of fear. It's recognizing fear. Fear has its place. Fear wants to keep you safe. Fear wants to keep you in something that it can understand and manage. Again, it's just your thoughts. It's just a fearful thought. And so we do a lot of work around recognizing the fear. And one way to think about it is just thinking it, asking it to sit in the back seat, that I'm going to drive forward. I hear you. I understand that this is scary, uncomfortable. The unknown, the void is such a scary place. And so I know that you're with me, and I am going to choose to enter into this scary place anyways, because I'm more courageous and I have a bigger dream than the fear of staying where so we do a lot of work around that, like how to talk to fear, how to recognize fear.
I think it's important that we do have a little bit of fear within us. It keeps us grounded. It's necessary, I believe. Now, of course, there's a very fine line between healthy fear and a paralyzing fear where it stops you from going after what you want. But I think that having a small dose of fear is good for everybody.
I agree. Because if there's not that fear, then there's just, I think the opposite of fear is complacency. And I would rather live a life full of passion. And yes, that means it's going to have some fear, and it's probably going to have heartbreak as well. And
absolutely. You can't have pleasure without the pain. You have to have both sides of it, right? You need it. It's necessary. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts around this. I've had many discussions with spiritual people in my community, and I love hearing everyone's answers and thoughts on this. Do you believe that every single one of us on the planet has spiritual gifts within us, and it's just a matter of having the right guidance to tap into them and figuring out how to tap into them? Or do you not agree with that?
I absolutely believe that we all have a unique gift that we have come here to hopefully uncover and use and shine to help ourselves first and foremost. Because when we are tapped into using our gifts, when we're aligned with what I call our soul roadmap, when we have that alignment, we have joy, we have fulfillment. And I think that there is nothing greater than living a life full of joy and fulfillment. And to get there, however, to discover that, I don't know that, when I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, that I was aware of what my gifts were. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, because it's a journey. Our life is a journey, and it's the unfolding of it. I love the Hawaiian dance of the luau, because what what I've heard is that it's as if they're holding a light in their hands. And when they're taking the movement with their hands out and away, that it's as if this light that's within us has been covered with mud. Yeah. And we're not accessing it, but the movement away of the hands, that luo, that dance that they do to just move things away, it is the uncovering of our light. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I help people daily step into what I believe the Magi card science system indicates as an area of their life where they chose to come in and use this gifting. So It's a really ancient system that is hidden in plain view, that has so much wisdom for us about the karma that we're carrying in our soul gifts. Mm-hmm. And it's something that is accessible to all of us through a deck of playing cards.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the Magi cards and what it's all about?
Because we all know what playing cards are, but we don't know that what we're looking at is an ancient book of prophetic wisdom that spans millennia. It has its origins in ancient Atlantis, but was mostly known to be practiced in the temples, the pyramids of Egypt, until it went underground and became a secret society. But essentially, it's an astrological calendar. When you think about a deck of cards is 52 cards, right? There's 52 cards in a deck, weeks. 52 weeks in a year. There's 4 suits that represent each of the 4 seasons. There are so many numerological ways that we can see its shape as a calendar. And then so it is embedded with numerology. The numbers of each number corresponds to, including the suits, carries a certain energy with it. The symbology, the suit that you are born under, speaks to a certain area. There's heart, which is, of course, love energy, family, grounding, home. There's clubs, which represent the summer season. And it's all about learning and growing the mind, communication, knowledge, accumulating all of the wisdom in our younger years. Then there's the suit of the diamonds, representative of fall season. And that's all about our finances and our values, like how, as we grow into our adulthood, has everything that we have been taught, does that shift? Does that change? And then there's the beautiful spade. The spade is the suit of the true north. It is the winter of our lives. It is the wisdom. It is career. It is health. And so the symbology combined with the numerology and then the astrology, there's actually astrology in this, is how we get our soul roadmaps and can get just so much down to the minute calculated guidance if you so desire, because it is a science, a scientific system, not an intuitive system.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things that the more people that I read for, including myself, every day I start by, after I do my writing, I look at my Magi card for the day, and it's unfolding. It just continues to unfold and inspire me to share this wisdom with others, to say there is a roadmap. There is something that can give you guidance, that can help you uncover, going back to your previous question, I can uncover your spiritual gifts, or it can just show you where you're at right now and perhaps why you're feeling out of alignment, if that's what you're feeling.
That's very intriguing. I love it. And
it's all based on the solar energy of your birthday. Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. Incredible.
Which makes me want to ask you, when's your birthday?
February 6th.
February 6th. So I think that makes the 6 of spades. It does. February 6th. 6 of spades, ace of clubs. Oh, that's Ace of clubs is one of the special cards in the deck. There are 7 semi-fixed cards, or fixed and semi-fixed cards, and yours is one of them. It carries this twin energy, ace of clubs, new ideas, constantly having new thoughts and ideas. And on the other side of it is the 2 of hearts, which is a union of 2 souls, a union in love card. So it flip-flops every year in the quadration, which is kind of cool. And the 6 of spades is a very karmic card of work and health. It is all about bringing equilibrium and balance to your career, your health, taking responsibility for that in life. Yeah, the sixes are karmic numbers. They're also considered purpose finding numbers. And it's different for you as somebody who is born a six versus if I have, actually I do this year, if I have a six as one of my cards of the year, we all get 5 cards per year. Most of us get 5 cards per year.
Okay.
It can indicate that this is going to be a year of uncovering your purpose and looking at the balance. Like, where have you been giving too much or receiving too much? How do you, where are your growth areas in, depending on if it's hearts, clubs, diamonds, or spades. So spades are all about work and health and spirituality. So
very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want to dive into the whole mindset piece because this is a big thing for everybody. We all struggle and deal with mindset. So being a mindset coach, what has been one of the most significant shifts that you've experienced in your life, and how did it transform your path?
One of the biggest ones I've already referred to is that awakening on 2/22/22. Just being aware that, wait a minute, I have been repeating a story to myself that I am only capable of this much, that there was a ceiling on my abundance. And so recognizing that was a story that I had been believing in my own mind and transforming that. And it is taking, I want to even say the present tense, it isn't a continual unfolding.
Yeah.
It starts with the awareness. Oh my gosh, I've been believing this story. I've been believing that this is all that I'm worth. And I want to write a different story. I want to say test this, but I want to test this. Yeah. And so the power of affirmations, I have my 7 of diamonds is one of my challenges this year. And right beyond my computer, I see it every day. I read this affirmation that says, I'm learning to create and maintain unlimited true abundance in my life by transforming my attitudes about possessions and money. So that's one of the things that is, for me personally, the financial piece. I had to really do some digging, but it's the awareness. And then what are you going to do about it? And then what are all the things that I have put in my own way? And I've often, what I realized in looking back at my entire life is that I've always given my financial control away. And I think that there was more to this great awakening of 2020 for me personally, that is to bring me back on to my own path, to recognize that I don't need a husband to provide for me. I don't need a father to provide for me. And it was men. It was for me personally, that was my story. And instead it was like, you've got the power, right? You have the power all along to create this. So that was a big shift for me that eventually led to me leaving my career and taking this leap of faith in myself. That's probably the most concrete example that I have. And also just day to day and I say this to my kids all the time, like so much of what we experience in our day to day errand running, grocery shopping, going to school, doing laundry type life has to do with what we are open to seeing and where we focus our attention. Being really aware of the miracles that are around us all the time and noticing them. And then, oh my goodness, giving thanks.
Yes, gratitude for sure.
Is
absolutely.
Huge. And gratitude for being exactly where you are right now.
Yep.
Even if it's not like where you're going, what
or where you thought you would be, whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are a couple of the most common mental blocks that you see that hold women back from reaching their full potential?
Fear is the biggest one, I think. Honestly, I think the question comes up again and again, how? And just by asking the question how, I always say that that's not our job.
Yeah.
The how belongs to the universe, right? Do not need to get in there. You need to think about what you desire and what action steps you're going to take today towards that. What small things, like just like shifting the momentum, putting that drop of that pebble in the water and letting it ripple out, just taking the action step. But so many people, I think, and especially women, it is the fear of how am I going to do this thing? And so much of it has to do with finances, I find, specifically for women as well. And I'm thinking about anything from somebody who's in an unhappy marriage and will stay in an unhappy marriage because it's known, it's safe, it's secure. And if you think going back to what fear is, that's it. Fear wants
false evidence appearing real.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. False evidence.
Fuck everything and run.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to continue on this path with the whole mindset thing, business and struggles that go along with all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear from experts all the time, like yourself and others who have overcome their struggles or adversity and transformed through the pain to discover their purpose, which is amazing and powerful and beautiful. I would love to hear from you with what you've gone through and on the other side of things now. What are some of the struggles and things that you face today still around mindset, like imposter syndrome, all these things, just to name a couple? Just because we've gone through shit and come out the other side does not mean the struggles are over, that we're not going to struggle again. So I would love for you to share a little bit about that.
Yeah. I think imposter syndrome and self-worth they're so essential. Self-worth, self-love, like really. If you had asked me 5 years ago if I loved myself and I believed that I was a worthy being, I would have emphatically said yes. And I had to learn firsthand experience that actually wasn't entirely true. There's a part of me that knows my worth, and there's another part of me that has been told a different narrative that I have to unpack. And I lost the question in there. I was like,
what are some of the things that you still struggle with?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so I think there are times where I struggle with one of the questions that comes up for me at this point is, what's the point? Am I really making a difference? Am I really offering a value? And so like it's as I am expanding in my business and my services and definitely sharing wisdom as a main part of my teaching that, you know, a lot of people go to Vegas, that's a hard, there's a part of me where I can question my own self, right? I think it is that imposter syndrome. And then I have to just pull back all the noise and recognize that these are usually their thoughts in my own mind. It's nobody else saying it. I'm my own tormentor. We all are.
Yes, we are our own biggest, for sure.
Just catching it. I have this acronym SNAP, where it's especially I can feel it. One of the things that I have learned to do is to really trust my emotional body response. And I help people to do the same. It's when you start to feel your vibe sinking or your energy levels or your whatever it is, it doesn't feel quite as good. Just to stop is the first part. Then notice, notice what I'm feeling, notice what is happening around me, and then ask, is this true? Is the story I'm telling myself true? Or is the story that is something that somebody just said true? Whatever is the memory that flashed, is that true? And then pivot if it's necessary. Just that moment of awareness and learning to do that all the time, every day, because it's so loud inside the mind. And it's unfortunately, until we train and really love and befriend the voices in our head, they can wreak havoc in there. So that
for sure,
just stop. I'm starting to spin out of control. And for me, it's usually overwhelm.
Yeah.
I get overwhelmed. I feel like I have a million things to do and not enough time. And then it's actually, is that even real? You really want to get quantum about it?
I think that too, I mean, we have to be thankful and grateful for the struggles that we go through, because in turn, having gone through those struggles, having learned from them, hopefully you've learned from them and taken the lessons forward, you now have more tools in your tool belt to help you deal with those struggles when they reappear. So you because of what you've been through, you've got the tools to help you turn the volume down much quicker than you could before.
Lessons can be gentler. They can be learned quicker.
Yes.
And the best certification that anybody can ever have is life. Your life prepares you to teach the things that you're teaching or to shine your light the way that you're shining it. And so you don't need anything else. Yes, you rattled off at the beginning. Yes, I have my infinite possibilities training, and I'm a Magi certified card reader, and I have my master's degree in education. And I have these certifications, but the most powerful certification is my own life story.
Yeah.
And
your life experiences.
How I struggled and what I learned and how lessons show up now and how I'm able to perhaps respond or see it like not need to go. I don't necessarily need to have another plane crash.
Yeah, exactly.
Explosion. It's now, okay, I see this.
I got this
to work through, and I'm going to do it with and wrapped in more self-love and grace.
For sure. For sure. What would you say is the biggest misconception that people have around mindset work? And how do you challenge that narrative when it comes up?
I would say that a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a bunch of woo, or it's just words. It's just like even the word, it's just. I believe so strongly in the power of our words. I'm a huge student of Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 agreements. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And that comes in so many ways. How we choose to engage in conversations. Are we going to talk about people behind their back? There's that part of being impeccable with your word. But the other part that I think is really powerful is just choosing your words. And so one of the things that I help people do is craft a vision statement. So it's the beginning of the year right now when we're having this conversation. So crafting a vision statement for 2025 or for the winter season. And a lot of that crafting the vision statement is about understanding how to use language that is helpful, like using the present tense, using the I am. More than anything else, it has to be resonant. If you are saying an affirmation that you emphatically don't believe in, it is just a bunch of bullshit, right? Like you are just saying empty words, and that's not going to serve you. So there are plenty of people that would say, oh, affirmations don't work. It really has a lot to do with what are you saying to yourself? How are you saying? How are you saying it? So that is one of the main things that I hear, or, oh, I want $1 million now, law of attraction. Like, understanding how the law of attraction works and understanding that sometimes we feel like we're ready. And we're so not. We're so not ready. And we're getting ready to be ready to receive. And we just have to continually stay on track. And if you hold to the vision and it really, we are committed, like at a level 10 to seeing that vision through, we will find a way to get, and if it gets hard and you're like, meh, I tried. Oh,
I'm done. I give up.
Like I would look at your level of commitment, and I would also look at what do you believe about how you're getting from A to B.
I think another important piece to mention is being open and willing to receive. Because that's a huge piece of it too. You have to be ready, willing, and open to receive. And that's a hard lesson to learn to receive. I
didn't think that I had problems in that area. I thought that I was a good receiver. And it turns out it is a lot harder than it, especially like I armored up. I was like, oh, okay. Like I need to do everything, be everything. And for all people and all things. And that armor that we put around ourselves, like I can do it. I'm autonomous. I can do this on my own.
Can't.
How does the money come? Also, going back to just like that abundance thing, if you don't have hands open, palms up, ready to receive, and gratitude for what you're receiving, saying, oh, thank you.
But it's also on the other side of it, it's cyclical, right? You have to give as well.
Yes.
It's all tied in. It's all cyclical, giving and receiving. You have to be good at both.
And that's what I love. Again, going back to the Magi, like right now, I'm in a period of my year where I have that cyclical, I have the 9 of diamonds ruling over this period of 52 days of my year. And the 9 of diamonds is exactly that. It is the giving. It is the card of the universal giver of values. And it is also like a loss in finances, right? And that's necessary to give, to pour out, to clean the slate, to make that room for the new influx of incoming abundance. It is such a beautiful, that 9 energy of giving and emptying and letting go. And then right on the other side is the receiving and the welcoming, the letting in.
If you could teach just one mindset principle to every woman out there, what would it be?
Say thoughts become things. So choose the good ones.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you share with us, we've talked about this, you've mentioned this a couple of times, share with us about what Let Love Rise is all about, when you founded it, what the mission is, and what it's all about.
Let Love Rise is truly, it's now today, it's a community. I call it a community of open-hearted spiritual warriors who are all about being the conscious co-creators of their life, being courageously authentic. And we look at our soul roadmap. We look at the Magi cards. We look at the astrology. We listen to music and practice every week mindset practices that will just get us a step closer. In the beginning, it was created in April of 2021. The first blog post that I wrote was called Looking for Space. And I was really trying to figure out who I was if I wasn't a wife and a mom and a teacher. I had all these labels on myself of what made me. And all of that was stripped away. All of it was removed. And again, right, it had to be removed so something new could come in. And I just felt so called to share my story publicly. And the words "Let Love Rise" came to me. And I just decided to figure out how to make a blog and start writing. And it was my therapy. It truly was, to take my stories, but try to wrap a lesson into it. Like, why am I experiencing this? And I know I'm not the only person experiencing this. And then there was always a song. For every blog post I've ever written, there is a song associated with it, because I do believe that music is healing. Music,
for sure. The arts are healing.
Yeah. Music speaks. And that was an initial was just a real deep desire to process my own story and to share it with others. And this is coming out of that time where we were so disconnected. And I think I was craving connection. Does anybody see me? Do you resonate? Are you feeling the same thing? Can we help one another through this? And so it started as writing, and then it evolved into leading community events, moon circles. And now I do workshops and retreats that are all integrated into the seasonal work that I now lead people through using Magi. And it's
beautiful.
It's ever evolving. Who knows? We circle back 1 year from today.
Yeah.
There might be something
completely
totally
different.
new that I didn't foresee coming. And that's that part of just trusting the process. Like, I don't need to understand all of it. In fact, it's best that we don't, right? Like, that we don't foresee. Like, I often go back to that question. If on my wedding day, taking those vows, I would have been told that in 20 years, my husband would file for divorce and I'd have to dismantle this beautiful family. Would I have said yes? And I couldn't be happier, because I have the most beautiful children now. And I have this whole new line of work and purpose that grew out of the most painful period of my life.
All of these experiences led you to where you are now, and led you to the woman you are right now, here and now. It's all part of the evolution. It's all part of the process.
Absolutely is. Yes. It's a beautiful unfolding.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
What's funny is I used to always joke, and this was before Facebook was around, that my superpower was remembering people's birthdays. This is true. I mean, I know all the kids that I played with on Valpico Drive. I know all their birthdays. I've always been able to retain people's birthdays. And I thought that's not really a superpower. Well, until you happen to step into an ancient system of wisdom that is based on the solar energy of your birthday, it is incredibly helpful now. And people are always amazed that, I mean, maybe less so now because we do have Facebook that also lets everybody know like when someone's birthday is, but birthdays, anniversary, kids' birthdays, they're in my brain. I don't know why. Now I know why. I haven't. Because it is something that I have taught before, I believe, in previous lifetimes. And I know the power of the solar energy of someone's birthday and how that the essence that is for them. And that is a way that I am being called to help serve humanity in my own pocket of the world.
I love it. Speaking of success, how do you define that word? What does the word success mean to you?
Happiness, joy, fulfillment. I mean, yeah, it sounds so contrite, but if you are truly happy, and not because you have the thing, but you are happy from the innermost part of your being, that is success. Having happiness inside before anything outside.
Externally, happiness is an inside job, as they say.
It is an inside job. And when we have found our way back to happiness, which has been my journey back to happiness, that's success.
Beautiful. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before you learned it? And what was your life like after learning it?
I think the most important thing that life has taught me is that I am a part of something so much greater than my earthly body. And it just gives me peace. It gives me peace to know that I'm just a tiny speck on this bouncing ball that's hurling through space in an ever-expanding universe. Like when I'm able to zoom out like that, and that I'm a creator within this, like that I am a part of the creation of the life that I want to live, and that around me and how it ripples out. Like that is just such
that's a mind fuck. It's incredible.
Yes, it's a serious mind fuck. Yes.
It is, for real. It's
and it's a joyful
crazy
one too. And it gives me peace to know that I am just one part of an ever
one spoke in a wheel, one cog in a wheel. Yeah. That's it.
Doing shining my light in my way.
Doing your part.
Right. And everybody has a part. Everybody has a part.
Every single person is part of the collective, and we all need to work together in order to raise the vibration of the collective.
Exactly. And
no one person can do it alone.
No.
It's impossible.
And I always say, I love the quote by Rumi that the road is yours and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one may walk it for you.
Yes.
And I love that because it really does speak to the Let Love Rise community. It's that we're all on our own soul journey, but it's so much more fun when we do it together, when we hold space for one another and encourage them to achieve their dreams and to find joy and fulfillment in the process.
Yeah, it's about being in and of service to one another. That's a huge part of why we're all here, is to do exactly that. And I think that the sooner people wake up and realize that, the much better off a place the world will be. Because there's still so many people that are in this me mindset. It's about, and it's not. It's got nothing to do with you. It's so much bigger than you.
Yes.
So much bigger than you.
Yes.
We need more people to wake up. And I think COVID did, like I said, it started an awakening in a lot of people, but there's still a lot of people walking around sleepwalking.
That is absolutely true.
There are some that will never wake up, and that's okay. That's their journey. That's their path.
Yeah, we can still love them.
Have compassion and empathy for them, but we need to find the people who are on the awakened journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Just want a friend and a guide to walk alongside.
Yeah. Exactly. What does the word empowerment mean to you, Andrea?
Empowerment. I'm seeing Wonder Woman like grounded and strong and centered, and empowerment just is like tapping into our inner power that and our inner power comes from something much greater. So when we are empowered, we are tapping into our inner wisdom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing.
Oh boy.
Ready?
Okay, yeah,
this.
Let's do this.
What is one of your favorite quotes?
One of my favorite quotes, the one that I just shared by Rumi, the road is yours and yours alone. I would say another one by Rumi is the wound is where the light enters you.
What is one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Love.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Love.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Charismatic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say love. I thought we were on a streak here of love.
I have one. That would have been a good one.
What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
I love how much I love others. I love I have big love energy for others. And
okay. What is your favorite self-care practice?
Writing.
And that concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I have a little bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. Okay. If you could take one feeling or belief and bottle it up and give it to people, what would it be?
I mean, I feel like you're handing me this on a silver platter to say once again, love.
Yeah.
And the reason it's when we're in the presence of love, it is the contrary. It's the yin to the yang of fear. It is that energy that is just ever expanding and wraps around us and through us. And it just feels so amazing when we have love for ourselves, love for others, and love wrapped with compassion, I think.
The highest vibration on the planet. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were dead right. Love is all we need. They knew it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Who in your life has had the biggest impact on you and why?
Oh, wow. So many. I'm seeing my parents for the way that they have supported me and cared for me and been just really constant throughout my life and letting me know. And when I say my parents, I have some step parents as well, but they just I've always known that I am loved. And I don't think that there is a better gift to give your child than to know that you are loved and encouraged and being cheered on, even if you're taking a trajectory that scares the shit out of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you could step into my shoes, Andrea, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
What question? I think as I'm shuffling these cards is maybe it's something about the Magi. What question would I ask about the Magi? Yeah. Maybe what is it that gets you excited about the Magi?
Okay, go ahead.
I think that this system has been held secret for too long, and it is has been so incredibly helpful to me to help me navigate, not just see where maybe I need to let go or where I am creating something new, but really to understand who I chose to be in this lifetime is reflected in my cards. I'm a 4 of spades, 10 of diamonds person. And I now really, truly understand that I have had a very beautifully blessed life. That's my 10 of diamonds card. And I find fulfillment through work. That's the 4 of spades. Like I am a practical worker, and that I have everything within me to create this business that I see in my mind, to see where I can help serve others through this system of ancient prophecy. And it's mystical and it's mysterious, and who doesn't love a good card game? It's so fun, but it's also so much more. I have so much reverence for this, and it is a sheer joy right now to get to share it with the world, because the time is here, and Age of Aquarius, here we go. Humanity is ready to learn again from the ancients. And
thank you for sharing that. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why? Oh
gosh, it's Oprah. It's Oprah.
Okay.
I've had the pleasure and the powerful experience to see her speak live a couple of times. And every time the speakers that she brings into that, I met Elizabeth Gilbert through her, who has also been a huge impact in my life as a writer and a speaker and a teacher. So I love her story and her passion for others and uplifting others. And yeah, I would just love to thank her in person.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
I'm seeing myself. Yeah, like somewhere around age 7, like would tell her you are enough exactly as you are, perfectly imperfect and totally enough.
Beautiful. Lastly, Andrea, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
You are more powerful than you can imagine and more full of love and light that the world is ready to see. Shine your light. Shine your courageously authentic light.
Beautiful. Beautiful way to end the interview. Andrea, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today, for sharing your story, your journey, your vulnerability, and the beautiful light you put out into the world through all the work you're doing. It was an absolute honor and pleasure to have you today. Would you mind sharing with the audience a little bit about where they can connect with you, if they want to work with you, if they want to learn more about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, the easiest way to find me is through letloverise.com. I can also be found Let Love Rise on Instagram, Andrea Blythe on Facebook, and that's still the hub. It's still the heart and the hub. There is growth and expansion, but I will always refer back to Let Love Rise as the heart, and where you can find out all information for upcoming retreats, events, workshops, classes, where the traveling Magi is going to be speaking.
Beautiful. All the stuff, all the information will be in the show notes when your episode gets published. Once again, Andrea, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. And I am grateful to now have you as a member of the Empowerography community, to have had you as a guest, and to have had the opportunity to sit down and share in your story and your journey with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a true pleasure. I love having conversations like this.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Andrea Blythe. She is a storyteller, a spiritual teacher, a mindset coach, an infinite possibilities and matrix trainer, a certified Order of the Magi card reader, founder and creator of Let Love Rise, and last but certainly not least, a mother. Thank you so much, Andrea. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.